Hello, women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader. Today is another Woman of the Week, and I am so excited to introduce to you Sheryl Wharff, VP, Global Alliance Marketing for Quantexa. Hi, Sheryl. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Jackie. It's my pleasure. I'm excited to speak with everyone today.
Yes, I am so impressed. 35 years in the channel. Congratulations.
That just means I'm getting old.
No, that means you have a lot to share with us. So let's do something easy. Let's talk about where do you live, and if that's different on where you grew up, you can share that as well.
Okay, I actually live in Hudson, Massachusetts, outside of Boston on a nice lake. And I grew up in Michigan in a small town called Onstead, and I'm one of 7 children.
7 children. Bless your mother.
Exactly. So I tell folks that I've only ever known how to be a part of a team.
That's true. You've had life lessons right there growing up.
You got it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, would you mind sharing a little known fact about you?
Sure. Um, Actually, I used to be a novice water skier, and for many years, I did both slalom competition as well as event show skiing. And I used to be a part of a water ski club that did like 5 or 6 different water ski shows a year.
Wow, that is so
Yeah.
exciting and interesting. I've never known anyone that could do that.
We were real big by putting like 12 or 14 people up on the water and 4 high pyramids. So it was a lot of fun.
I have never seen that in person. I mean, the first thing that I thought of was Jaws. That's amazing. Very cool. I love that little known fact. That's awesome. All right. So let's dive in. What are some experiences or transformational moments in your life?
That was a really good question because for me, and I think back on my career has actually been a lot of firsts. So one of my first transitions that I think about is really impactful is when I was an executive administrator for a VP of a company, and they bought me the very first word processor that was introduced into the market. And a long story short, I learned everything I could about it and did my job. And one day when my rep came in and said, "How do you like your word processor?" I showed her all the stuff I could do. And the next thing I know, they called me up, asked me if I would take a job demonstrating and showing other people how to do that with their technology, and offered me my salary and a half plus a company car. So that was my first entry into moving into the technology world. A
Oh,
second one that comes to mind was my first entry into channel sales. So I moved from doing direct sales for over 10 years to channel sales. And I took a job where they wanted somebody with frontline field experience to help their partners and to really help them understand how to port their applications, and they happened to be engineering applications, over to the platform that we were doing. So that was my first entry into working with channel partners, which I really loved. And I did a lot of channel sales work with them. And then another one that reminds me of being really transformational and a first in the market was I worked with a company and a series of channel partners, and we introduced the very first e-check that ever passed through the Department of Treasury that utilized a consortium of partners and our encryption technology. That then led me to another first, which was I worked with a company and 12 different partners to create the very first internet-enabled CD-ROM. And it happened to be with Microsoft, with Thomas Publishing and Digital Equipment Corporation, and it won the Manufacturing Hall of Fame award and highlighted my 12 partners in the channel. And that kind of brings me up to today, which is Quantexa recruited me about a year and a half ago now to launch for them the very first partner program that they've ever done. They're a scale up today of about 6.5 years, and we focus on concentrating on the right data and the right decisions and help folks with contextual decision intelligence. Essentially, we create and connect all the dots about who is your customer and what are you doing with them. So those are some of my moments within my life that were a bunch of firsts that really helped get me into the whole channel space.
Cheryl, you're a trailblazer. I'm so impressed. All these first, like, wow. Wow. I'm just blown away right now.
It's really been fun. It's a great ride. I really love it.
You can tell in the way that you're talking about all these first, you can see the excitement in your face and in your voice. That's amazing. So tell me, what has driven you to continue to grow in your leadership role?
So for me, it's really the feeling of making a difference and knowing that I am impacting the bottom line of these companies, both for my set of partners as well as my company every day. It's really funny because, you work so hard to build top of funnel opportunities for your partnerships. And then you work really hard to bring it down to account-based marketing things that really help them take it through the sales cycle. But for me, it's really been about how every day does this technology that I'm working with impact our lives, our own personal lives every day. And it's so exciting for me because, again, I've worked with these companies that do the coolest things. So in the banking industry, when you transferred money out from one of your accounts to the other, I used to work for a company that actually had the hardware security modules and managed all the encryption in between it that said, yep, you can take out $150 because you have that in your account. So I also worked for a company that when you swiped your credit card, we did all the data encryption about it. So regardless what you bought at the grocery store or at the clothing store, you swiped your credit card, we did that. And everybody today, right, has taken an Uber. So I worked for a company that we were the database behind Uber that helped line up who was the driver and where did you go and what you're doing. And today I'm working with Quantexa that really focuses on helping companies do anti-money laundering and guarding against human trafficking. So these are things that our companies and this technology is so fundamentally changing that for me, it's so exciting that I continue to lead these groups and these partnerships to really do things that make every single one of us more productive, more safe, and hopefully more competitive and additional money in all our pockets.
Yes. Oh, wow. You're speaking to me. Did you know that the Women of the Channel Leadership Network's Channel at Work partner is Everfree?
I do.
Yes. She'll be speaking in January at our live Q&A. So
That's awesome.
that's something that, yes, I'm truly passionate about. I love, gosh, your story is so interesting. I could sit on here all day long and talk to you. Okay. So with all of these first, like you're doing all these trailblazing and new first in new technology, and it just seems like your life is just so fast paced and with the way technology changes, like you're constantly have to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
What do you do to protect or create your work-life balance?
That's a good one. And I always visualized my life as a triangle. And at the top of the triangle is me personally. And it's the things that I'm passionate about. Time for me so I can water ski, so I can play the piano, so I can go and have massages, so I can make sure that my health is there, so I can go to Women of the Channel conferences, so I can develop my own sets of skills. And then I see over here my personal life, right? And this is where I'm a wife and a mother and a sister and a grandmother today. And I want to make sure that there's time for all those things. And then I have my work balance over here. And this is where I make sure that I'm doing everything I can to help my customers and my partners and the company that I'm at, and that I am learning and keeping up on the technology and I'm making a difference. But what I find, Jackie, is that when you have your life and you think about this triangle, if you don't keep that triangle with you at the top and keeping everything in balance, it kind of tips this way if you get too much work, or this way if you get too much family, or this way if you don't pay attention to yourself, right? So it's one of those things that for me, it's all been about balance. And I am a big believer in the law of attraction, where you put your minds and your energies and where you put your passions really help you to keep that balance together. And for me, I really think as we talk about this in closing, one of the things I like to think about would be, don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment today and make it perfect for you. And that way, your life doesn't get out of balance, because you can't be all things to all people. You have to keep that synergy of those three things. Make sure that you're doing the best you can in all those areas, but keep them in balance because they're all equally as important. And for me, that's how I've managed my career and my success as I've gone through the channel.
That's amazing advice that I know. I mean, it resonates with me. I've noticed that if, my way of investing in myself, for stress is to do my workout in the morning. And when I
Yeah,
skip that, it kind of messes up the momentum of my day. So
it
exactly what
does.
you said, like, and even having the visual of the triangle, I know that's going to resonate with our listeners, and be very helpful mental trigger on making sure that they have that balance. That's amazing. I love that.
It's so important. The other thing is, when you're going down this, for me personally, I have always also tried to make sure that I am nurturing along the next generation of men and women. And for me, that's been really, really important. I've raised a daughter of my own, and I'm now, impacting the lives of a granddaughter. And I want to make sure that they have opportunities in the corporate world and working as a female, because there's still a glass ceiling and we have a lot of ways to go. But I think it's when you can keep that balance so the person knows you can do your job well, you've got passion for it, but your home life and your personal life are important, and you're not going to step over that line. Um, and give it all to anyone. You really have to be a person that keeps their insights across the board to make sure that you are a healthy and competent person. And the only way to do that is to keep some balance.
I love that. I can't thank you enough for your time today and for sharing your authentic self with us. Thank you. Thank you
It's
so
been my
much.
pleasure, Jackie. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone out there enjoys it. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes. All right, community. That's it for today. Please be sure to give Sheryl some love and appreciation for that amazing advice. Until next time, have a wonderful day.